Hello everyone, my name is Becky. I'm making the video today like I promised I would on the Facebook page at 651vinyl.com. I asked Troy for his permission. He said go for it as long as it was a YouTube video. And I will be honest with you, I've never done a YouTube video before, so this is my first time, so I hope it is okay. Basically, the first video I am going to do, I figured would be best to just show you all what kinds of things you're going to need for your keychains, because it's not as common. I mean, I've been doing crafts for a long time, and basically I learn almost everything I've learned from Facebook, from the pages, from you guys coming in and showing your work and putting up things that tell everybody how to do things, and from Troy, and it's just, I've learned so much. It's just been amazing. But when Troy put out his blanks for the keychains, I thought, that's interesting. That's pretty neat. I think that's a cool idea. So, of course, I had Googled and put different kinds of groups in that I learned things from as well. So I started doing the keychains, and they started going out really well. So I noticed, though, on 651 on our Facebook page there, not that many people do keychains, and there was an awful lot of questions about it. Where, how do I do this? Where do I get that? What should I use for this? I'm just saying right out, I am not any expert on this. I'm learning along with everyone else, and I make plenty of mistakes, but I figured what I have and what I've done so far, people seem to like, so hopefully I can tell you guys what you need. I will make a second video on how to actually make a video, make a keychain with all the things that I'm telling you need today. Just so that it's easier for everyone to get their stuff gathered together and have it on hand, and then they can go back and look at the second video and figure out how to actually do your keychains. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I am a hairdresser, and I'm a crafter. I always joke with everyone that I only think with like my creative side of the brain. The rest of my brain is just mush. It doesn't even work. I'm not tech savvy. I'm not, particularly good at anything other than crafting. I seem to be crafting. I'm talented in the fact that I can pick something up pretty easily and do it. It may not be my best work, but I won't stop until I get the whole thing done properly. So I think creatively in that aspect. I also wrote a book once. So I guess that's where my brain goes. I made cakes for a little while. So I kind of get myself into a little bit of everything. I never quite stick to one thing, except for hair. I've been doing hair for almost 11 years now, and I absolutely love doing hair. I love being around people and doing those types of things, and again, being creative. So okay, so basically I'll show you what I'm talking about with some types of keychains that we're talking about. So the blanks that you get from 651vinyl.com, it is under his blank category, under Troy's blank category, and you can get all sorts of, you get the blanks, you can get the tassels, you can get the keychain, I forget what they're called, these, the little like links that you need for it, anything like that you can get from Troy. You can get the vinyl, obviously, from Troy. You get your, the patterned vinyl as well. Now anything I use that is regular HTV, no, not HTV, can't use that on acrylics, that will burn. Regular 651 is from Troy. If he has the patterns I need, it's from Troy. There unfortunately isn't everything on Troy's site, but I have faith in you, Troy, that you're going to get it all for us and we don't have to go anywhere else. There'll be one stop shop at one spot here. Such as like glitter. I don't even know. I can't even think of, you know, I mean, we're talking nitpicky stuff, Mod Podge, stuff like that. Now, I will say this. I saw a video that Troy had said he was going to be putting up more blanks, more acrylic blanks of the keychains. I cannot wait for that. I'm super excited. Until that happens, unfortunately, I'm getting a phone call. I have to deny it. Unfortunately, I have to, I'm sorry, Troy. I do have to get it from some of my blanks from other places and some of my vinyl from other places. Like if there's a specific vinyl I'm looking for and Troy doesn't have it. Obviously, 651vinyl.com is my first place to go. And I always look there first to hopefully get my stuff there. But if I can't, obviously I have to go somewhere else. Amazon, obviously, is another one that will have things that we can get. But, and things like I use particularly, my power just went out. That was really weird. Sorry about that. It was weird. Anyway, the things that like I particularly like to use UV resin over top of my acrylics. Or epoxy is another one. Some people use triple thick. I'm not a big fan of triple thick. I don't think it gets the like gloss look that you need. I'm nervous about it. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm just a little nervous about it. So epoxy and UV resin are usually my two go-to things. Now, epoxy is great. It's self-leveling. You know, if you mix it properly, you got all sorts of stuff you can do with epoxy. I'm just very impatient. I'll be the first to admit it. My son is in the background here. He is special needs. So I have to pause this 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I have random people come to the house for questions for hair. I have my salon is in my home, so I apologize about that. Again, I think I was talking about epoxy. So epoxy is fantastic. Like I said, it's self-leveling. It does a lot of the things it needs to do. However, it takes a full 24 hours to really cure. And in my case, on a lot of the things that I do, because I'm using glitter, I have to Mod Podge, glitter, generally Mod Podge and glitter again, and then those two in between, they generally take about 15 minutes, 20 minutes in between coats for it to really dry. And then you can epoxy after the last coat of Mod Podge that you did and last glitter is fully dry for 24 hours. So if you take that into consideration, you have full 24 hours of Mod Podge and glitter to dry. Then you have to put the epoxy on, and it's a full 24 hours to do the actual, like, the curing of the epoxy, because that's done in just regular room temperature. There are ways to slightly speed up epoxy, but I'm not a fan of it. I'm just afraid. I feel like if that's the way it's supposed to be made, if it was made to be sped up a little bit, then it would be made that way, but it's not. I just feel like keeping it the full 24 hours is where it should be. So now we're talking 2 days, and then you can put vinyl on it, and then epoxy over the vinyl, and that's another 24 hours. So now you're at 3 days to make one keychain. I mean, I realize if you're making an assembly line and you got 15 or 20 keychains on, and you're doing this, and I get that. And I know, like, a lot of you know about epoxy because of the tumblers and stuff like that. I haven't gotten into that yet. I will, I promise. I swear I will. I really want to, but I want to get a tumbler turner first. And so UV resin literally takes 5 minutes. I mean, to me, it's like a no-brainer. You already have to wait the 24 hours for the Mod Podge, so you're not getting away with that, unfortunately. But you can definitely get away with taking up less time. So for me, I've used, obviously there's all sorts of different kinds of epoxies out there. There's like an art resin, I think it's called. I can't remember the names of the other ones, but there's a lot. Though I had found this one, and it's from the makers of E6000, which is awesome because E6000 is like really good as far as holding things together. I actually use those on badge reels for like when you have a badge that has a loop and then you just pull it out and your badge can keep going in and out like that and it's clipped to it with those little gator clips. I make those too out of some of the blanks, which is nice. But this here, I found this one. It's probably backwards. I didn't really think about that, but this is a 2-part epoxy, so you have to mix them. What I found the best to do is to get those little on Amazon. You can get the little syringes that you would get to like give a baby medicine, where it has like the milliliters on it. You can get them in bulk. Get them and little cups, medicine cups, whatever. Because, I mean, if you get the medicine cups that are clear and have the milliliters on them, just like, you know, the little medicine shot glass things, you could just use that. You don't have to use two. But if you don't happen to have that, or you want to reuse, like, say, Dixie cups or whatever, if you get the little medicine cup things with them, then you pull out exactly the same amount of the hardener versus the resin, you know, and you can squirt them together, and then you're making an even amount, and you know you're not going to screw that up, and not one's going to be too hard or it's going to get hot on you or anything. I have a camper, and I redid my countertops, and I epoxied over the top of them to keep, because I had done this like mosaic painting on it, and it looked pretty cool. But I did the table, and the table turned out awesome, and then I went to go do the countertops, and I mixed wrong, and boy did I know it. I knew it right away, because my box, or my container that I had it mixed in, got really hot really fast, and it started smoking. I like threw it out of my camper. I was so nervous. So anyway, it's important to mix them properly. Anybody who knows the epoxy knows that. So this epoxy happens to work good for me. I like it. I use regular old Mod Podge. You don't have to get like dishwasher safe or any of that. You can get matte, you can get whatever, because this is if you're doing glitter. You don't need it at all if you're not going to do glitter. For example, this is the one I put up for everybody to see on my thing. It's on my keychain, so I have to. This is glitter. I'm sorry, it's not going to focus here. It's glitter. Come on, focus. With epoxy on top. Okay. So, and then I had just plain vinyled it in the back here. And you really, especially when you're doing glitter, and some of these glitters that you buy, you don't even realize it, but they're like opaque. They're like almost clear. They have the color, but they're clear. And so you have to watch, because you think that you're a-okay, and then you go to pull the backing off of the blank, and it's like, oh, you can see right through that. So it's really important that you put a backing on it anyway, of some sort. Anyway, can be plain. Even here, now this was not epoxied. Okay, so I have no epoxy on this at all. I apologize, this is not a 651 blank. I'm just giving you a heads up here. But I needed it because I was making, my son's a wrestler, and I was making the coaches keychains. It says Coach Joey, and so yeah, but this does not have any epoxy on it whatsoever. But I mean, it's 651, like Troy says all the time. It's pretty much a permanent, adhesive, so it's not going to go anywhere. It's not. Yes, the letters probably, they're a little rough, so they could be caught on things, I would imagine. And that is one of the reasons why I like either epoxy or UV resin, because I like the safety net of having it not go anywhere. And I apologize. I realize I'm looking over here when the camera is here. I apologize. I'm not used to this whole thing. But yeah, so it is a little rough in here. But and on here, but like they said, it's not really going to go anywhere. So as long as they're, I mean, my husband has a keychain that I made him that has no epoxy on it, and it's not going anywhere. So this is, again, actually, I'm not sure, he may have this one now, a Mickey Mouse keychain. This one is epoxied. You can see the shine. So now I glittered. I had made my own my own type of glitter using like a whole bunch of different color black and a whole bunch of different other colors. And then this is holographic glitter vinyl, not HTV. It's regular vinyl that I had stuck on here. I had just basically sliced out the castle and then put it on. So, and then on the back is just plain black 651 vinyl on here. I didn't epoxy over this because I don't need to. There's nothing here. I don't always do that anyway. Like I said, with this one, I didn't. But if you wanted to, you could. You definitely can epoxy both sides. That's not a problem. But for this one, like I said, I just did the front because I didn't want all these little like pieces to come off. And now, so those are some of the things. Now, I will tell you this. This is from 651. This is his paw print vinyl. So when you're doing acrylic. When you're doing acrylic, it looks smoky when you get them. But in case you all didn't know, there's a clear plastic covering on here. That basically I use my pin pen and just go in and pull out that piece there, see, and it comes up, and at that point you can pull them right off, and it's clear here. So don't get confused when you see them and think, oh my gosh, these are really cloudy, or they have a weird feeling to them, because that's not the actual case. Okay, so basically, now, not all blanks too. If you do get them from, like, say, Amazon or another company of any sort, a lot of times they do have a brown color instead of clear piece on them. So, like, for example, this is a different type of puzzle piece than the one that 651 carries, but it's this still puzzle piece. But see how it's brown on both sides, and again, it's just paper, so you just pull that off and it goes, it's the same thing. So when you're doing those things, you want to make sure you're using alcohol to clean off your prep surface, and you want to use some Mod Podge for your glitter. You want to make sure you have, like, personally, I really like their silicone paintbrushes. This is not a silicone paintbrush. This is a paintbrush that I've been using for so long that it's like rock hard now. But it's okay because it actually works really good. So you could use this, popsicle sticks, anything like that to spread your epoxy eventually, but or your UV resin. But in general, anything hard like that pulls will be able to, like, pull it to the edges where you need it is great. So you're going to need a Mod Podge and something to spread it with. You want to get the glitters you want. Now, personally, there's all sorts of glitters all over the place. I will tell you that there's a place that has some really cool looking, I mean, you can get them on Amazon, you can get them on, again, I think Troy should really kind of think about getting some glitter. But in general, like, I got this on Amazon, and I can't even tell you. I want to say it was like 16. No, actually, I think it was even less. I think it was like 14 or 15 bucks. It's really cheap. And when you're doing glitter, you're pouring it on the actual Mod Podge, but like, as any of you who do tumblers, a lot of that comes off. And if you're putting it on a piece of paper or something like that that you can hold on to, and you fold that up, you pour that right back into your glitter. So you don't actually use a lot of glitter. So those little like glitter tubes that are like, you know, a quarter, size of a quarter, not even, they're not too bad. My son's in the background, if you hear him. He's just playing back here. You want to say hi? So
hello everybody.
This is my buddy, Rowan. Rowan is my special boy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me finish.
See you guys.
So, Rowan is who I made my keychain for, because he is my special boy, and I love him to pieces. Okay, so regular Mod Podge, I said that. Again, you want to use popsicle sticks, stuff like that. And then when you're ready to UV resin or epoxy, but I personally like UV resin, you're going to need your resin. You're going to need a fingernail UV, lamp. It must be 36 watts or higher. If it's not 36 watts, it doesn't matter what UV resin you're getting. It's not going to cure. It's just not going to. It's not high enough. So you want to get make sure you have one of those. They're inexpensive, honestly. They could be $20, $25. You don't want one that is like, they have these smaller ones. Now I know, because I do nails. This was one of my old ones actually, and I had gotten a new, more powerful one, and it's just enough for your fingers to fit in there, and get cured. And then you have to kind of like do your thumb. That is not going to be big enough. It's just not, because they're tiny. The space itself is only like this big, and trying to get a full cure out of a keychain that's bigger than the space in there isn't going to work. So you want to have one of the bigger ones. But again, they're not that expensive. 20, 25 maybe. They really shouldn't take you much to get it. Amazon again. UV resin is a personal preference. There's a lot of different kinds of UV resins. I want to show you the resin. Sorry about that. The resin I have, but why they put the sticker over top of the name, I have no idea. I can't figure that out. Honestly, it just says like UV resin. That's all it says. It doesn't really. It's from China. I will try to link the Amazon description of where I got this. And like this one, it's not expensive. It's like $13 for the bigger one, like $13.99 I think it was, something like that. Now I also have the little one because I wanted to try this brand before I went and got more of it. This was like $6.99. I got like maybe 3 keychains out of this. It's not super like, there's some more in here. I could probably get another one out of there, but it's not like, it doesn't go very far because this is the thick kind. There's thick and there's thin. Thin UV resin is for, I could do a solid glitter piece. I will show you these things. If I can get this to work properly, my son can really get this up for me because he's the tech savvy one. There are different types of things you can do. And so I will try to show you different kinds of videos. But this one in particular, the glitter itself underneath, not this, because like I said, this is a vinyl. But the glitter itself under here that I had pre-made, mixed myself, that I could have technically mixed my glitter with my thin resin. and then it was like a one process. You don't have to do the Mod Podge and all that. You could just kind of throw that on there. It works better though, I will tell you, with chunky glitter. These are all fine glitters, you know, the extra fine glitter. This one was done with the extra fine glitter. They go better on with Mod Podge. But with the chunky glitter, you can really, you could mix it and you get some really cool looking designs. And that would be your entire background. So you don't actually have to put any Mod Podge down or wait for any of that. Or if you're looking for something that has just a slight amount of like glitter sheen over top of your look, you can just put a very little bit of like a pixie dust type white pretty glitter. Oh yeah, here. Hold on, sorry. Like this. This is like an opaque type. I got this at AC Moore, I think. Or Michael's. One of the two. I think it was AC Moore though. It's like an opaque, it's very thin. I used them on ornaments when I was doing ornaments, and I realized that it was the perfect kind to take a glass ball and not put anything in, and no polyacrylic or any of that in there, no Mod Podge, none of that. Just put this in the ornament and shake it up, and it gave that good like I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. Apologize. Like static look of the glitter being over there, but you can still see through the ball. This is perfect for that. So, that's really cool when doing those things. But chunky glitter, you can put in with the thin, UV resin. So you can, when you're looking for resin, you want to make sure you're looking for thin or thick. I, in my experience, have found that thick is harder to find, much harder to find. Most of the glitters you're going to find on Amazon, or I'm sorry, not glitters, UV resins are going to be thinner. They just are. There's a place called Miniature Sweets that you can order from. They have a thick and a thin, and I've heard nothing but good things on those. So I just happened to, like I said, see this kind. It was thick, and I thought, oh, we'll give it a try, and I like it. I really like it. I have no problems with it at all. So once you put that on, you're going to need one of these. Well, you don't actually need it, but it helps for sure. You need to blow out the bubbles on those. It's even though it's thicker and it comes out like, it will come out thicker and give you less bubbles, certainly much less bubbles than epoxy, because epoxy you have to mix, and you're actually causing bubbles in there. But with the UV resin, you don't need to. It actually comes out pretty clear, but there will be bubbles. So you still have to kind of do a quick couple swishes over it and put it in there. Trying to think. You can use one of those candle or grill lighters type of a thing. That works too. Some people say you can use your hot breath. I personally cannot. Maybe I don't have enough devil in me. I'm not sure, but I don't have enough hot breath. It doesn't pop the bubbles for me. Maybe it is because it's thicker UV resin. Maybe thinner would work. I'm not sure. Maybe even epoxy would work better that way. But for me personally, the thick resin, from what I've experienced, it doesn't pop it with your breath. So you need something like that. I did try a match one time. Not a good thing, because I burnt my fingers way more times than I needed to even admit to. But so once you get all the bubbles popped, you want to make sure you have a level surface, and you're going to put it in your UV lamp. The lamp will be, it varies. If you have like a 52, I think, watt, I think it goes up to 50, the one goes up to 52. They might cure faster, like within a minute or so. But I always keep mine in for at least 5 minutes. And it always comes out nice and hard. It doesn't peel up or have my fingerprints in it or anything like that. It's cured for sure. If it's not cured, and you'll know it, because it'll be like sticky It won't cure properly. It'll feel sticky, and it'll, like, you can put your fingerprints in it, and good luck getting those out after a while. Even using a little bit of alcohol, I've had a hard time with it. So now, but like I said, 5 minutes and it comes out. So some of the problems you might have, I've come into, is these stinking little holes. They're not fun. They're not fun to deal with. These seem to be a little bit bigger, which are helpful. So maybe it is just the brand, because like I said, this was not 651. And come to think of it, I don't think I had problems with this one as much when I did this one. And the hole, as you can tell, the holes are much different. One is much smaller than the other. So, but all in all, the same problem can happen. The problem is the UV resin, of course, it's like a self-leveling, just like epoxy is. It will level out. And then if you have too much around that hole, it's going to run right into your hole. And the minute you epoxy this, or you let it dry, the epoxy, or you UV resin it, it is done for. You're going to have to basically drill it out. And that can sometimes be an issue. Some people put, this is more, though, I will tell you, more for epoxy, not so much for UV resin. Some people put toothpicks in them to keep them, like, I think they like break it a little bit to keep them in, just until the epoxy starts to cure, just so it gets a little, like, where it's done running and it's not going to cure anymore into the hole. Once that happens, then you can take the toothpick out and let it cure properly. Now, as far as the UV resin, you're putting that right into the UV machine and it's pretty much curing right away. The only thing I could say is maybe, I haven't tried this though, maybe you could try to put it in for like 30 seconds or whatever, in the UV thing, and try to pull it out and then continue it. I'm not sure. Somebody might want to try that and let me know how that works, because I honestly have no idea if that would work or not. What I do is I just go, like, I leave a little bit of a gap around the hole, and just kind of, because it will fill in and it almost valleys. That's the nice thing about these these UVs. They give that nice pretty doming effect, they call it, where it kind of like it domes it up. It feels like it's not flat, and it's not, it's super smooth, and I don't know, this one, yeah, this one you can see better. It's like, it has that doming look. Do you see what I'm talking about? Like, it kind of goes up and over a little bit. So it will dome around also, where the UV isn't around your hole, around your hole. So, like I said, I try to keep that away just a tad bit. The other problem you may come into, just like anything else, I mean, you guys are obviously pros with your vinyl, and that's why we're on this channel all together. But I found, honestly, that the wet method really does help with doing the vinyl, the bigger pieces of the vinyl even. This one has a lot of little pieces. Let me just tell you something about this one. It has all these little teeth they're individual. They are not one piece. Like, it's not white and then gray and then blue. It's the gray is the biggest piece. It's just like the back, only on the front. And then the blue is just the outline, and the white is all individual pieces. So what I ended up having to do was put the gray on, and then I took the blue, or took the white, weeded it all out, and put the blue on top of it, and had to line it up just perfect. And then once I got it lined up, I flipped it over, and honestly, it was not perfect. You could see through it, where the teeth were, and I was like, nah. So I would take my little pin, and I would push those pieces where they needed to go in those little spots. It still wasn't 100% perfect. I don't think the SVG that came with this blank was 100% perfect, but it worked, and you really, I mean, you can hardly, I don't think you could even tell that there was, I don't know if this is focusing enough. If I do this, I'm going to have to get a better camera. My husband will be joyous to know that. But yeah, there's some, you can't really tell. I really had to like move it around to get it in there. So, anyway, with doing the bigger pieces though, the wet method works fantastic. This here, the wet method, there's like no bubbles at all because you're able to put it on. I had gotten a little pack at the Dollar Tree of these. It had a spritzer and it had this one. I put alcohol in this one and I put a mixture of, it's like soap. It's like 2 squirts of Dawn detergent and water, like tap water. And I use this and I spray it on the acrylic and then I place my my vinyl on it. Now, I will say that if any of you do decide to do this, I would go on to 651vinyl.com and grab the paper transfer paper. Not the, well, I mean, obviously the medium tack of the regular is awesome. I love this stuff. I use this for everything. But, and you can do the wet method with this. It's just a lot harder because it's plasticky. It doesn't want to like smooth out with your squeegee. It doesn't want to smooth out very well. Also, I don't know if Troy has one of these on his tool section. I happen to have this one, so I didn't have to look for one. But if he does, I recommend getting one of these that have almost like a rubbery feeling. It's hard, but it does move a little. And that's really, really nice for smoothing out your wet method on your paper. It really, I mean, these are fine. These are plastic ones are fine. They're just not quite as smooth. They don't just like this. I don't know. For some reason, this really grabs it really well. So, I mean, that's what I would recommend on that one. Trying to think what else. Also, tools. So, I got this jewelry tool thing. So, it helps with the little loop. I'm drawing a blank with what the stuff's called today. Jump rings. They help with these, so you're not sitting there going like with your fingers or whatever. I always use these and then like a pair of tiny, like a smaller plier thingy. And they help. Troy sells the tassels under the blanks. Now his you can get them in all one color. So if you know you're going to do a lot of something that requires like a lot of blue. I ordered blue when I was doing these. I ran out, and that's why this one has like a stupid like beige one because I didn't have any other color. But I ordered all the blue, and it looked really cool. Blue and gray actually I had done, and it looked really cool together. But so he has that. Now these I got this bag on Amazon. Of same things but different colors, a bunch of different colors. But I'll be honest with you, Troy, you can't beat Troy's prices. A lot of things are cheap on Amazon, but you're not gonna, like I said, you're gonna get cheap quality too. I found that for sure. Like I definitely like his. Now I don't know what these are called. These are not called jump rings. They're just the keychain, like loop. These are from Amazon, and they're chintzy. They're tiny. They're very chintzy. I'm not a big fan. I think actually this one is from 651 vinyl. This one here. I mean, it is much bigger, much thicker, and it comes with. Actually, this one did too, so I don't want to go there. But yeah, definitely better quality from 651. Even if it is slightly more expensive, you're getting a better product altogether. So you just better just go with 651. Quality over quantity sometimes is way more, it's worth it to me. especially if you're going to, you know, have customers coming back to you saying my jump ring broke or my this broke or whatever. You definitely, you know, just go get yourself what you need and do the right proper thing. I also wanted to tell you that I will probably do a video on how to do, oh, hold on, let me grab it. I think I have one finished. Your keychain holders if you're selling them. Okay, so if you want to sell them and you want to send them out somewhere with your name on it, for your company, and you just, you know, you can stick these little, okay, sorry, you'll stick them in here like that, and then I usually put like a piece of tape on the back so they don't say anything. Anyway, and then you can send them in. You can get the little 4x6 bags that they're clear plastic bags. They have like sealings on them, and that way your keychain and everything sits in it nicely, and everything is displayed nice with your name and how to contact you if you need it. You know, and then, you know, they have everything there that if they want to give your information out or something, it's there. So I think that is pretty much most of the things I wanted to tell you as far as the things you need to get for making keychains, and make sure you have your supplies on hand. I will make another video, like I said before, exactly on how to make a keychain. I'm probably most likely going to do it from a glitter standpoint with UV resin, just because I don't have the time to wait the 24 hours in between and show you guys how to do things with epoxy or whatever. And I'll have a few things like step by step already pre-made so that I can say, okay, this is the step and this is the next step. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions until you see the next video, please don't hesitate to ask me. I'll be more than willing to answer them for you, and happy to do so. So thank you for watching. I'm really sorry this is long. I know it's like probably like 40 some minutes or something. I apologize for the length, but there's a lot of information out there, so you need to know what you're getting into before you even get into it, I guess. But thank you again. I appreciate you listening to me and taking the time out. So I will link some things on the bottom, 651vinyl.com, and our Facebook page, and some Amazon things, and hopefully you guys can get all the things that you need, and you'll like the video, and then the next video will be a little easier for you. It won't be so long, hopefully. So, okay. Thank you again, and I hope you have a great day.